Hi, my name's Bill. I love music and I love records, and I want to welcome you to another video that I'm doing for a YouTube channel called Spin and Chatter. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody who's been watching. I'm having a lot of fun doing this. If you could just to support the channel, hit like and subscribe. Feel free to drop a comment. I love reading the comments, hearing what you have to say. It's been a lot of fun connecting with people. So a couple new things that I wanted to talk about is my buddy Jim designed a logo for the channel. So I don't know if you can see it or not. But Jim is not on social media. Otherwise, I would tag him and drop a link. But he's kind of a private guy, but he just did a great job on the logo. So I had a couple shirts made. And another thing, if you've watched a couple of these videos, you've probably heard some chaos upstairs. Okay. Here and there. And the culprit is going to be my very first guest on Spin and Chatter. And so here she is. This is Gia. We have 3 rescue dogs, and Gia gets really excited about records and vinyl. So when I'm doing the videos, she likes to chime in. You've probably heard her going nuts upstairs, barking. And sometimes when she starts barking, the other 2 chime in. So just thought I'd bring her in for her to say hi. All right. So that's Gia. Here she goes. Oh, there she goes. All right. So I hope you got a kick out of that. Today's video is going to be about musical families. Records that are made by families that have bands and musical projects and things like that. So when you think about musical families, one that sort of came to mind was actually Nelson. I don't know whether you remember them, but they were from, they had a hit in the 90s with I Can't Live Without Your Love and Affection. Their father was Ricky Nelson, who was known as a child prodigy musician turned 1950s teenage heartthrob television star. So that's a musical family. Another example is the mother of all musical families, and I think that would be the Jackson 5. So here are some that are a little bit off the beaten path, a little bit more obscure, but ones that I think are worth checking out. So here we go. The first is the Rocky Fellers. So the Rocky Fellers, this came out in 1963 on Scepter Records. They were from the Philippines. And the father, I hope I don't butcher the name at all, but the father was Doroteo Moro Maligmat. I think that's how it's pronounced. I could be wrong. And his sons, Eddie, Albert, Tony, and Junior. They were kind of a one-hit wonder in the 60s with their song Killer Joe. And that was, the subject of that song was a dance instructor, Killer Joe Pirro. One thing that's kind of funny is one time I played this on YouTube, a YouTube video that had this song uploaded to it. And someone posted a comment that stuck with me. And they said, I remember hearing this song at the drive-in back in the 60s when I was eating a basket of fried shrimp. And for some reason, that image associated with this song was just so strange that, sometimes when I hear this song, I think about that comment. But it's just a quirky memory that I have about it. But anyway, the song Killer Joe is really good. It's probably, my favorite track on the whole record. But the rest of it is worth checking out. It's pretty fun. It's mostly covers. And there's a cover of Lonely Teardrops that was made famous by Jackie Wilson. There's also a pretty interesting cover of Del Shannon's Runaway. The vocal work is done by, you can see that, a lot of the members of the band are pretty young. And the vocals are youthful. They're adolescent. But their quality, they're not... It doesn't suffer from being overly cutesy or annoying, quite frankly. It's well done. The vocals are great. So the Rocky Fellers, from what I read, they released some singles, and the last one was for Warner Brothers in 1965. but as far as I know, this is their only long player. But yeah, worth checking out. I think it was pressed once in the 60s, and I don't think it's been reissued. But worth checking out. It's a fun record, you know. So the Rockefellers, Killer Joe. All right. So the next one that I want to talk about is The 8 Minutes, An American Family. This was released in 1972 on a label called Perception. I couldn't find a whole lot of information about the band, but I do know that they were a Chicago-based soul group, and there were members from 2 families. So there were 3 members from a family called the Goggins, and 3 from, again, I might get the pronunciation wrong, 3 members from the Sudduth family, plus 2 other members. One was Joanna Glover and Carl Monroe. And I bought this at a record show from a guy that gets a lot of interesting, like funk and soul and just unusual stuff. I bought the Peter Ivers Knights of the Blue Communion record off of him. He just has unusual things like that. And so I saw this. It was about, I want to say 25 or 30 bucks. It was in nice shape. It just was intriguing. So I picked it up and I took it home. And it's pretty good. There's contributions by Sherman Nesberry, who wrote some early material for the Jackson 5. And again, I don't know a whole lot about the band. I don't know who is playing what instrument, whether any of them play instruments at all. I mean, it could be a situation where there was a backing band and maybe the people on the cover just handled the vocal work. I really don't know. A lot of the tracks are on the mellow side. Mellow, kind of smooth soul music. My favorite tracks are the ones that are a little bit more up-tempo, a little bit heavier. So my favorite tracks on this are I Can't Get No Higher is a great one. Time for a Change is also a really good one. And the closer of the whole album, last song on the second side, Take My Love, Don't Set Me Free, is really good. So if you wanted to look this up on YouTube or look it up online somehow, those are the tracks that I'd recommend. So yeah, but that's The 8 Minutes, An American Family. Now, last but not least is another one that you may already be familiar with. And it is Dreamin' Wild by Donnie and Joe Emerson. So this has a very interesting history. Donnie and Joe were 2 brothers that grew up on a farm in Washington State. They had a tractor, and on that tractor, there was a radio, and that was their first exposure to music. So they'd be listening to the radio, riding on the tractor, and they decided to start playing and began writing material. They had a father who was very supportive and ultimately helped them. I think he took out a loan for a large sum of money and helped them to build a recording studio. He helped them to get gear, like top-notch gear. And he also funded an album that they recorded. And the album is Dreamin' Wild. It came out in 1979, was self-released. The label was called Enterprise and Company. So this came out. It basically flopped and didn't really go anywhere and faded into obscurity. So time goes by and it resurfaced when crate diggers and record collectors discovered it. And it was ultimately reissued by Light in the Attic in 2012. And it must be, I mean, for things like this, it must have been very popular because it's gone into several represses ever since. The one that I have is, and let me see, I keep my records outside the jacket because, again, I don't like seam splits. But the copy I have is a 2023 pressing on transparent blue vinyl. So that's pretty cool. You know, I like colored vinyl. I think it's interesting. So back to Dreamin' Wild. There was a movie that was made about Donnie and Joe Emerson, also called Dreamin' Wild. I was really that came out in 2022, and I was really excited for it. I looked for theaters that were showing it. No one locally was showing it. I ended up buying a DVD of it, and the movie is okay. It wasn't. Again, I don't like to put things down. I don't like to criticize too harshly, but it ultimately wasn't my cup of tea. It was a subject that I was very interested in, and the movie I think could have been a little bit better. I just found it to be a little bit slow moving, and it just wasn't my cup of tea. But at any rate, musically, this record checks a lot of boxes. If you look it up on Discogs, the style is described as being psychedelic rock, AOR, soft rock, garage rock, and funk. So there's a lot of things going on in this. I really like this record a lot. It's fun to show people the cover because they find it to be kitschy and dated, and then I put it on and the music kicks in, and this is another one that's kind of a hidden gem. I haven't played it for anybody that hasn't liked it. The opening track is called Good Time, and when I heard that, it was one of those situations that I liked it so much that it was hard for me to advance to the rest of the album because I just kept on playing that over and over. It's a great song. The entire record is good. This is highly recommended by me. So I just think it's a great record. Dreamin' Wild by Donnie and Joe Emerson. So that's about it. Those are three kind of under the radar family bands, musical families that I think are worth checking out. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you liked this video, and I hope to see you again. Thanks.